Hi, I'm Tiffany Domino. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my website is howtoentrepreneur.org, and my mission is to help you grow a business from idea to enterprise. So if you or someone you know wants to start or grow a business, definitely stop by howtoentrepreneur.org and check out my free e-course. It's a framework to help you grow your business from idea to full-time income and from full-time income to enterprise. I also have some cool quizzes over there to help you check out your business health and also to help you check out whether or not your mindset is ready for entrepreneurship. So definitely stop by my website and check out the resources I have free and available there for you. Today I want to do a post and talk about how to start a bookkeeping business. So if you know anyone that wants to start a bookkeeping business, like you see people like this with their calculators and they're helping other business owners and entrepreneurs to keep their finances in order, and you're interested in trying out that business model, or you know someone else who's interested in trying out that business model, then this post or this video is going to be for you, because we're going to be talking about step by step how to start a bookkeeping business. So if you're looking for a comprehensive guide on how to start a bookkeeping business, you're in the right place. Here we'll be discussing what's required, what are the costs, what a normal day is like, and other things to help you decide if this is a good business for you to start. So with the growth of the internet, some businesses that were typically confounded inside an office have more flexibility than ever. Just a few years ago, administrative specialty positions like bookkeepers had physical files they need access to serve their clients, and their office setup made it where it wasn't as feasible to operate remotely. Now the bookkeeping business can have location freedom and time flexibility more than ever, and as a result, more entrepreneurs are interested in learning how to start a bookkeeping business. And you might see the potential of the bookkeeping business, but you probably want to know what's required, what are the startup costs like, what's a typical day like, how much money can you make, will you be able to run this business and accomplish the personal life goals that you have, and there's many more things like that you might be concerned about. So I'll be answering all of those questions and more in this video. So if that sounds interesting to you, let's keep going and get started with this. So what is a bookkeeping business? According to the SBA, more than 627,000 businesses start each year in the United States alone. Each business needs to manage their money well, accounting for the income and the expenses. And if business owners don't manage their money, they could miscalculate, overspend, underprice, or experience other complications. While the importance of managing finances in a business can't be understated, many entrepreneurs just don't like math, and for some reason managing money is even more overwhelming. That's why many businesses hire bookkeepers. The bookkeepers perform tasks to help businesses like categorizing income and expenses, helping to sync accounting software like bank ledgers, and creating financial statements. So you might be asking, who is a bookkeeping business right for? And a bookkeeping business is right for those who enjoy math and working with money, those who pay attention to details, people who are self-disciplined, those who have the skills to use accounting software or productivity software like Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets to track the finances and make financial statements. What's a typical day in the bookkeeping business like? A typical day in the bookkeeping business will range based on how many clients you have and what services you offer them. Most bookkeeping businesses have client accounts they manage on a recurring basis. Once recurring client contracts are set up, then the daily work would consist of tracking cash flow, syncing the transactions into the accounting software, categorizing the expenses, coordinating with the clients, maintaining receipts, sending out invoices, making sure bills get paid, writing out checks for vendors and payroll, and discussing the finances of the business. So I recommend that you divide your time into 4 categories, and those are acquiring the work, doing the work, managing the work, and strategizing about the work. And so if you haven't heard me explain this before, let me break down how this would apply to the bookkeeping business. So if you're acquiring the work in the bookkeeping business, then when you would be looking for new clients. You can acquire new clients using content marketing, going to live events, joining professional development groups, setting up paid ads, or performing any task that helps you to build trust with the goal of a sale. When you're doing the work, then you would be coordinating with your clients, organizing the finances, writing out the checks, and doing everything that you've said you would do in your contracts. And then when you're managing the work, you would be preparing, because at some point you would want to either contract out different jobs. Maybe you don't also like to do like web design, or maybe you don't like to do your social media, or maybe there's other things that you don't necessarily like to do in the business, and at some point you would want to offload those tasks to someone else, but you want to do it in a way where you're delegating instead of abdicating. And the difference is when you still maintain responsibility, but you are overseeing and providing oversight and providing insight about your branding and the uniqueness about your business, and making sure your unique selling proposition and all of that is intertwined in whatever task you decide to delegate. And so in order to do that, you have to create training. You have to start to prepare for those times when you would need to delegate, but you prepare beforehand. And so managing the work is either when you are creating the training before you ever hire anything, or when you are actually managing the work as a result of hiring and growing your business. And then finally, strategizing about the work. So in order for your business to grow, you'll need to keep learning and growing. You'll have to be self-critical so you can identify your strengths, weaknesses, and identify opportunities and threats in the market. And you have to make time for all of these things. So as a bookkeeper, even though it looks, you can tell what the technical tasks might be, it's also important to think about the different hats you would have to wear. You would have to acquire the work. You would have to wear some of the sales hats in the beginning when you're starting out. Most startup entrepreneurs, even if they start with lots of capital and a team, they still have to do some of the client acquisition work in the beginning. Doing the work, managing the work, and strategizing about the work. All of those things are things that entrepreneurs have to do. So who is the target market for a bookkeeping business? So as a bookkeeper, there's a wide target audience. You mostly work with small businesses because larger companies tend to hire their own internal staff to support their operations. You might be able to find some contracts here and there where you can help as a larger company is experiencing growing pains or things like that. But for the most part, bookkeepers who start their own businesses work a lot with small business owners. Many bookkeepers find the best opportunities come from niching down, or however you want to pronounce that. So when you decide to niche down as a bookkeeper, you could focus on a specific audience. Like maybe you decide to focus on bookkeeping for real estate agents, or bookkeeping for real estate investors, or bookkeeping for medical practices or e-commerce businesses, or a narrower market than businesses as a whole. You'd be surprised how much more business you can get by making yourself very relevant to a specific audience. Added to higher conversion rates, you'll also become much more familiar with how things work, when things look good and when things look questionable, because you'll be much more familiar with the business model and how it goes, and the expenses that are normal and what's not. So what is the growth potential in a bookkeeping business? They say bookkeeping is one of the oldest career fields in history. There are old clay tablets with ancient handwriting that's been identified as old bookkeeping records. For as long as businesses need to manage cash flow, bookkeepers will be a necessity. With the increased interest in entrepreneurship from the millennials and generations after them, bookkeepers can expect to see even more demand. So, what are the skills you'll need to make a bookkeeping business work? So to get started in the bookkeeping business, you have to have the following skills. You have to have the skill of organization, because people are going to be coming to you expecting that you help them organize their finances. So you have to have the skill. Familiarity with accounting software. Some people will be using QuickBooks, some people will be using Xero, some people will use FreshBooks, and a variety of different things. And you don't have to divert and use each one or learn to use each one, but you will want to pick a go-to accounting software, or maybe you decide to use Excel or Google Sheets or however you decide to do it, but you'll want to have a go-to tool that you use to help with the bookkeeping process and to make it easy for the majority of your clients who come to you. You'll also want to be good at math. Even if you have lots of tools and calculators and things like that, it helps in the bookkeeping business to be good at math. And you want to have technical competence in bookkeeping. You don't want to start offering a service and you're completely unfamiliar with what to do. Even if you have the ability to hire and get a staff to help you with the bookkeeping, it's still important that if you're going to put your name and your reputation on something, that you really understand how it works, so that if you're outsourcing, you can still maintain the quality assurance and you can still quality control the things that you're putting out and make sure that you're going to develop a good reputation and a strong business over time. Diplomacy. Sometimes people will come to you and you might notice that maybe it's a fast food restaurant and they're buying things that have no relevance to their fast food restaurant, and you'll need to be diplomatic about how you present things to your clients. Sometimes it may not be an issue like that, but it might be another sensitive topic, because when you're talking about finances, you get into a lot of different sensitive topics, and you'll have to be diplomatic about how you navigate those. You'll have to be able to reconcile bank statements, because you'll be looking at bank statements, and then you'll have the accounting software or whatever you use to tabulate the financial statements. And you'll also need to be able to sync the two together. It's good to have certifications with bookkeeping organizations. It's not mandatory, it's optional, but it's good to have some type of certifications, because it helps with building credibility with the clients, and it also helps you with networking and being able to have support when you have questions or concerns. And sales and negotiation skills. As an entrepreneur, one of the hats that we wear, regardless of business size, is client acquisition. So entrepreneurship becomes like a lifestyle where we become, we're entrepreneurs. So if we see someone with a problem, then we can quickly introduce them to a solution to that problem. And part of that is being able to introduce them to how you can solve their buying motives and different things that comes with sales and negotiation. Not sales to make somebody do something they don't want to do, but sales to help someone solve a problem that they have in their business and life. Analysis of information. This is going to be really a key skill, since you'll be analyzing information all the time, specifically numbers. And you'll have to have communication skills. So what are the costs involved with the bookkeeping business? To start a bookkeeping business, I would recommend that you would have these startup costs. And this is your AIPB certification. The American Institute of Professional Bookkeepers offers certification without college education at $39 a year. And so you can look more into that certification. The NACPB certification is the National Associations of Certified Public Bookkeepers. They offer a certification for $100 a year, and college education in accounting or a relevant field is required. Business cards. You'll be able, even if you do your business primarily online, then there will be times when you get offline and maybe you're at the grocery store or the bank or somewhere else, and someone says, they have an issue with managing their finances. After you become an entrepreneur, you'll run into more and more people who need the solutions that you offer, and that's a good thing. So you want to have something that you can give them, and business cards work very effectively for some people. So business cards, it's good to have them on hand just to make sure that if you're out and maybe you don't get the time to exchange phone numbers in your phone or whatever, you can quickly take out a business card and hand it to them. A website. Websites are so great for attracting clients and converting clients into sales or phone calls or different things like that. And even if you're unfamiliar with how to do that, it's really, really good to learn. As times are changing and the millennials are growing up and the kids, are growing up with technology more so than they used to be, they're relying a lot more on the internet to make buying decisions. So it's really important to have a website. I have here that a website costs $400 a year because I know that you can get a website and also get the training on how to use the website effectively to get clients and sales. And I'll talk to you more about the combination, but it costs $400 a year. We'll talk more about it a little later in the video. Office supplies. You want to have a printer with scanning and faxing capabilities. It's likely you'll be doing a lot of that as a bookkeeper. A computer, a business phone line, paper, pens, staplers, all those things that you would have in a typical office environment. If you decide to work from home or in an office, it's going to be important to have those office supplies. So I have a budget of $1,000 for those office supplies. Of course, you don't have to start out with all these things. This is just a recommended startup budget. You can give yourself some time to accumulate everything that you need and start with the most basic essentials. But these are some things that I would recommend. And then incorporation, depending on what state, the price will be different. But I've just averaged it out at about $400, and that includes getting someone to help you incorporate and also paying your state fees to incorporate. And then education. QuickBooks changes, Xero changes. There's lots of different things. Maybe you might feel uncomfortable with social media, but you need to start out. You find that your target audience is on social media and you really want to get into it. Maybe you don't have knowledge about how to get customers using the internet, so then you have to take some courses on how to do that. So I've put a budget here for courses just to help you when you're starting out to build that confidence and to stay on top of the technology and the changes that are going on in your industry. So I put that at $500 to $1,000. So in total, I'd estimate a lean bookkeeping business startup to cost you $3,000. And you can, of course, scale some things back. Maybe you don't start off with the best printer. Maybe you start off with more of a budget-friendly printer. Depending on what your budget is, you can accommodate different things to manage that. But I think that a reasonable budget for a bookkeeping startup will be about $3,000, and then you can continue to reinvest and expand and improve the quality of your services and improve the quality of your office setup and your environment and things over time. So once you get clients and sales, you can scale to purchase additional items that you feel you need for the business. So you might be asking, what are the steps? What do I start with? So here is what I would recommend for you to start your bookkeeping business. So step number one is validating your idea. So it's one thing to suspect that the bookkeeping business would be a good fit for you, and it's a whole different thing to take action and enjoy the work. So I think it's important to do your research and decide if you think it would be a good fit, then to take action and validate that your idea is enjoyable for you. So the late Dale Carnegie said, people rarely succeed in this unless they have fun in what they are doing. So while you could see people who say, I make a lot of money with bookkeeping, or I have a lot of clients, I help a lot of people, and you hear people talk about their subjective experience with bookkeeping, but their subjective experience will be different than yours. Maybe you get into it and you actually don't like it. I've had to pivot quite a few times in my business in order to find a model that worked perfectly for me. So you might have to pivot a couple times too, and that's okay. So in step number 1, I recommend that you validate your idea and find out if the idea is comfortable for you, and if so, how to make it comfortable for you. Then step number 2, I recommend that you prioritize your business. So once you've decided you enjoy the work associated with running a bookkeeping business, then it's time to make it a priority. Businesses shift your schedule and your budget, and you have to set new boundaries in your relationships, allot time to work on your business, and set aside the startup cash to get the business working. Number 3, I recommend that you build your brand. So every business starts without a reputation, and no one knows about your bookkeeping business until you start to tell them. So you'll have to provide the quality service and build the reputation for your business. So in addition to the reputation you'll acquire from marketing, sales, and providing quality services, it's also helpful to have a nice logo, to hand out business cards that give off a good impression, and to present yourself in a professional manner. Number 4, start getting leads and traffic. So customers are the lifeblood of your business, and they don't simply show up magically. Despite what people might tell you, they might tell you can slap up a website, put that you sell bookkeeping services on it, and then the traffic will just come magically. But it doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that offline, and it doesn't happen like that online either. Instead, you have to build a lead generation system, and it takes a bit of experimentation. Maybe you start out putting posts up on Facebook and you find out it's not a lot of people who are really responding from that. So then you test out something else and say, maybe people are more responsive on a different platform, or maybe I need to post more often, or maybe I need to post more relevant material. And you'll have to experiment a little bit before you have a consistent flow of customers month after month. But once you're experimenting with your marketing plan and you identify something that works, that lead generation system will start bringing you regular customers and regular sales, and you'll be able to have your roadmap of specific things that you do to make that happen. And you may want to consider attending local events where entrepreneurs gather, asking friends and families for referrals, and setting up your website to attract your target audience. My website brings me customers every day, but it didn't start out that way for me. I had to get training and support to learn how to start and how to do that. So if you'd like to learn how to attract daily customers to your bookkeeping business, then I recommend you start with my e-course and my coaching program. And you can stop by my website, or I'll leave a link in the description box, but the button is here. You can also click on the link here, and it'll give you all the information about my e-course, the business growth blueprint or framework, and also about my coaching services that I offer. 7 days for free so you can evaluate whether or not the service is valuable for you. So, and the premium coaching is $49 a month. You can message me on an unlimited basis. It's private message coaching. So you can give it a try 7 days for free, see how we interact, and if the service is valuable for you. Also check out the training, because there's training, thousands of hours on helping you to get customers and sales to your website, helping you to see ideas of different ways to monetize your business, different options to add more cash flow. And all of these things can help you to really grow and scale your business. So number 5, convert the traffic into customers. So once you start implementing lead generation habits into your day, then there will be a point where your phone starts ringing, your email is getting consistent inquiries, your website is attracting new prospects, and you'll have to learn how to manage all of the attention that you're getting. And you may want to set up things like landing pages to capture emails, contact forms to capture contact info and questions, customer intake forms, like I said, business cards. You might want to have some things for when you're offline and a customer comes to you, ways that you take the customer from being interested into being a paying customer. So I have a few things that I recommend you check out that are tools for if you're doing your business online and you're using your website to convert the traffic into paying customers. Thrive Themes is a tool that I personally use, and ClickFunnels is a tool I know a lot of people use, and I have reviews on both of those things here so you can check out which one would be a more relevant fit for you. So number 6, form your business legally. So you may want to switch this step around depending on how much legal liability you get into earlier on in the process, phases 1 through 4 or 5. But I wanted to put this one as step number 6 because I wanted to make sure that you decide to incorporate once you're confident that this is the business you want to do. Usually once you've gotten a few sales and completed a few projects, then you'll know whether or not you like the work. So I recommend incorporating once you're confident, because otherwise you could jump into it too early and require dissolution if you decide not to pursue the business any further. So I think it's a better use of your time to simply incorporate once you're ready. And incorporation, once you decide to do it, it helps you to save money on taxes, and it also protects your personal property from liability associated with running the business. So when you're ready, I recommend that you get help with incorporation, and I recommend Swift Filings. They are legal professionals who will make sure your incorporation paperwork is done right, and they'll also help you decide on a good business structure and state, and help you overcome a lot of stumbling blocks people that are starting their businesses run into when they're trying to incorporate. So you can learn more about Swift Filings if you go to howtoentrepreneur.org/Swift Filings. Again, howtoentrepreneur.org/Swift Filings. And you can learn all about Swift Filings and how they can help you to incorporate your business. Their prices are really, really reasonable, and they have several different package options so that you can start with a really affordable plan or have more amenities, like they'll help you with your operation, your operating agreements and different things like that if you decide to go for some of their different tier packages. But their baseline incorporating is very, very affordable. So definitely check out howtoentrepreneur.org/Swift Filings if you need to incorporate your bookkeeping business, or if you need to get help choosing the structure, the state, all of those things. So I also have some recommended reading in case you want to look at some alternatives to Swift Filings. I have top 5 best places to incorporate online and my Swift Filings review so you can see the pros and cons. Number 7, organize your books. So as a bookkeeper, this portion is probably very familiar to you. So you probably know you'll need to organize your own finances, but I don't want to skip any steps while I'm instructing you. So like the businesses you offer services for, you'll also have to manage your own finances. So you can use whichever accounting software is more preferable to you. I've used both FreshBooks and QuickBooks, and they both work great. It's a matter of preference and necessary features that determines which will work best for you. I recommend you check out both QuickBooks and FreshBooks and see which is most comfortable to satisfy your business needs. They both have free trials, and I have both a QuickBooks review and a FreshBooks review here that you can take a look at. Number 8, so that's where you get your office supplies. So as a business with many administrative responsibilities, you'll probably do quite a bit of paper shuffling, even if it's simply to upload documents or organize them onto the cloud. So it's best to have the home office supplies that you need, and I have a list of home office supplies here. I also have different reviews here that are intended to help you with your productivity. G Suite is really good with helping with productivity. eVoice is really good with managing your phone calls, keeping the recordings, sending you by email the recordings of your calls and things like that, and it really can help with your productivity. So I consider it a great office supply. Number 9, systemize your process. So over time, you'll start to see patterns in how you implement processes in your business. And once you notice a pattern that works, it's important to record what you're doing so it's easy to make training manuals and train hired help when the need arises. So number 10, once you start to have revenue, it's important to maintain your discipline and make sure to use your revenue to cover your operating expenses, save for working capital, and reinvest for growth. Things like hiring, advertising, education, supplies and equipment, and other things will require the cash flow of your business to sustain and to grow. So don't fall into the trap many entrepreneurs do. They get cash flow and they begin upgrading their personal lives. Make sure to reinvest so your business can grow and can thrive. And finally, if you're ready to start your bookkeeping business, the goal of this article was to help you do that. So I'm hoping this was helpful for you to understand what you need to do to get your business up and running. If you want help with starting your bookkeeping business, then I have my free e-course and my coaching, 7 days of private message coaching that you can do with me. Also, down here at the bottom, I've added a new feature onto my website where you can see the free business health checkup, the free mindset mastery quiz, and all of the content. I've divided it based on the phases that we just spoke about. So you'll be able to stop by here and get more content specific to the phase of business growth and development that you're in. So I'm really hoping that all of this is helpful for you, and that the quiz can really help you to see where you are with your business development path, and the mindset mastery quiz can help you to see what you need to work on with your mindset in order to really thrive in business growth, and that all of the content here is really, really helpful for you. So that's all I have for this video. If it was helpful for you, please give a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, where I do product and service reviews, I also do how to start a business posts so that you can see how to start different types of businesses and grow them into successful enterprises. I also do biographies and quotes to help empower and motivate you, so that you would be able to stay on track and stay encouraged, because business isn't the easiest path, but it's a good one. And it really is impactful for our economies all over the world. So I really want to encourage you to stay on path and to keep going and keep growing your business. So that's all I have for this video. And if you liked it, please give a thumbs up and also subscribe and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos like this. And that's all I have. I look forward to connecting with you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.